welcome, Zake, Mr. Zake, right? That's right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Are you related to this man, the chaotic guy, or not, in politics?
Which one? No. We have nothing in common. Not at all.
That is the first time they told me the tournament was called Zake. I thought it was the politician.
Well, my name is Abdul Razak.
I see.
But the short form is Zake.
I see. Oh yeah, welcome. Welcome to Big Conversations by Ordinary People podcast.
Thank you so much.
I'll just maybe try to describe to you slightly what we tried to do here. So this started as just a normal conversation between a few friends. We had mics and we said let's just talk and put on the internet. And yeah, it became a little bit interesting when we got feedback from people. So yeah, if someone listens to just nonsense we're talking about and they say, hey, no, you guys were wrong. This is not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not true. That was exciting. We thought, there's an audience out there that's willing to listen to our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people were willing to come onto the podcast to correct us. So yeah, we had, I think
I'm here to correct you?
you're one of those guys. So yeah, like slowly by slowly we started growing it into like a real production thing. And now we have, I think, more than 50 episodes out.
Oh, nice.
It initially started as an audio-only podcast. But now we are building onto it a little bit more, and we're also expanding what we're doing beyond just podcast to more content. And you know that the biggest reason I want to talk to you is sports content. That's where we're trying to break through. We still don't know what the best approach is going to be. We've tried getting like a normal TV program, getting like a TV presenter to like give us like weekly highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people weren't interested because they've seen some of that stuff everywhere. That's the thing with the internet, right?
Yeah.
And now we are looking at other approaches. And I'm going to dive deeper into that as we go on. But, you know, for the start, let's start with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're running a tournament.
Yeah, I'm running a tournament.
You're playing in the tournament.
I'm playing. I'm playing.
Okay, yeah. You have a team, but the tournament is sort of like having Barclays Premier League formerly, right? Barclays Premier League, and then you have Arsenal wearing Barclays t-shirts.
I have a bunch of friends that I just gather around with me, and then we play a game. I don't think with my tournament I don't think I have my goal is to take it back to me. No, I'm just bringing my friends that I used to play with just to come and have fun.
I see. And that's mostly the goal. That's how you see this is like
for me, my team. We are not here to win. We are not in this tournament to win. But if you win, let the best team win.
I see. And okay, from the numbers I've had, I'm not sure like what's run, what's not, right? I've had 10 million said somewhere. You know, in terms of investment, how heavy is this on your pocket?
Well, my budget was 5M, but when things went on, I'm looking at around 25M right now that I've invested in this tournament. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But I never saw this coming.
Oh, I see.
Well,
I see. And what are you looking? Sort of, is there something apart from just the fun? You know, I know it's a fun thing to be on a team with you. I also have friends where we play every Sunday, but I know it's a fun thing to have friends to play football with, right? But it's also a bit. It's a bit odd that, the fund costs 25 million. What are you looking to get from?
Nothing at all. I'm just looking to give back to the community that raised me. Those people down there, they raised me. They groomed me from a baby step to to a man right now. Yeah. So I just like you started this thing, right? You and your buddies. I was like, well, I feel like I should, give back to the community. And the only thing I know how to give, the only thing that makes me happy, and I know it will make millions of people around me happy, is through football. That's why I chose to, inject this amount of money in football.
I see. And what's the impact to the community so far? So I saw when I was there, we saw that, a bunch of people come around after work. It's sort of like a Coca-Cola thing to just come and watch. That alone is like it has value. But what's the magnitude of impact to the community?
Well, right now there's a tournament that had died. The tournament that brought us to to be seen countrywide. That is Kawempe. So that's for the youth. But just a little background about the Kayofa tournament.
Yeah.
This is the tournament that used to go on every holidays. So we would come home and from school, very excited to
Yeah.
go back and play. So by it had died for about 6 7 years, and well, when I had this idea in me, and I was like, okay, I should, there are kids out there that need the opportunity that I had. Those kids are gonna get spoiled on the way if there's nothing that brings them together. So, well, I'm looking at any from this tournament. I just want to these boys to mostly the young boys to know that on the weekend I'm preparing for something. I'm training to go and play in this tournament. That this tournament somebody's gonna see me. I have scouts around. I'm gonna choose the best player in the tournament. I'm gonna sponsor the player until when somebody comes in and gives him a hand, or I just want to see Kawempe and the boys, or that the boys, yeah, the young boys grow, and I just want to see Zake from this tournament. Forget about the Zake who's talking right now. I just want to see the Zake, the young Zake,
I see.
coming up.
I see.
Yeah,
And this sounds like in your childhood, football had a significant impact.
exactly.
Have you been a pro player? Have you?
Yeah. Currently, I'm a pro player. I play for
wow.
Fury FC. That's in Canada. Just came back for holidays, pre-season, off season, and yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So now it all makes sense. So you play football professionally,
Yeah.
and you thought this is something worth setting up back at home. Okay, I see. That makes sense. Yeah. The other thing that sort of I'm picking up from the conversation is the purpose thing, right? And I understand we also have a very small. It's not like a league, but every Sunday we force each other to go and play, right? And what this does, usually it limits people who want to say drink too much on Saturday, because if you come sort of tipsy or hungover, and the next day you're going to make your team lose, and it's just not going to be a good weekend for you. And I see how this helps the youth, right? Like if there's some sense of purpose and also some sense of hope, if maybe there's a potential for a scout noticing you, that's like an opportunity for big things in the future. I see how that works. But also one of the other things that I've seen a lot with local football is that it's also like a community where people come to do drugs. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but many places where I see people playing football is also that like people come together to play football is also the same places where people come together, say, to smoke marijuana or to.
Well, that's where the tournament is right now. There's nothing like that, because that place, the place that the football, the tournament is taking place at, it's a religious place. We are playing on the mosque. The field is owned by the mosque, so we do not allow such a thing. And even if, well, everyone has their own habits, right? But we try our best to to eliminate that element. That's one of the purposes of the tournament, to kick drugs out of the youth and the people, the old people, because I have friends that I grew up with that just went like that down the road because of drugs. Now they see you and be like, oh, we used to play together. I'm like, yeah, we used to play together, but look at yourself.
I see.
I did not take the road you took. That's why I'm like this. You took that road. You chose to take that road. You're gonna end up, we give example mostly with the youth. My main purpose is with the kids, because this, if you're 25, you know what you're doing, right? But as a kid, 15 and below, 15, 17, 10, that's my main focus. I just want to see these kids not ending up like those other people around, because when a kid sees you and you tell the kid, oh, I used to be like you. I used to come here, do the same thing you're doing, go to school, after school, come home in the holidays, play soccer. That's how, that's how I ended up like this. Yeah.
I
so,
see, I see, I see.
yeah.
Wow. The kids, because for me, the impression I got again when I came to watch that match is, most of the guys are sort of like your age, my age, and above. The guys at least in the two teams that were playing, right? At what time do you get to interact with these kids that you consider to be the target?
Well, the kids have their own tournament, their own thing, right?
I see.
This thing runs from Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, to 4 p.m. So they come in the morning, 8 a.m., play their games, and then that's when I come in every Saturday. I'm at the pitch, talking to these kids, giving them examples, showing them there's life after football. There is life in football, not after football. There is life in football. All I have in life, well, it's God and football. I don't know anything else. All my mind and whatever I have in life is through football. So I show these kids, if you persist, if you listen, if you're disciplined, there's nothing standing in your way. It's only you standing in your own way.
I see. And one of the, so I also, again, I think like you, I grew up in the same country where I know bad days of mine who had the opportunity. I think I know a friend who got, what's the thing? Sort of, he got scouted by, I think, Liverpool even, yeah. But yeah, just because life is what it is, same mistakes, childhood mistakes, drugs and alcohol, he wasn't fit enough to sort of be considered. And I'm wondering, right, when you look at the state of the country right now, right, where does that lie the most? Most people would say maybe the parenting for this child, for example, is lacking, right? Some people would say maybe they're not role models, right? They don't see enough of people like you, right? Because most of the footballers we see in the country are people who play for the national team, and these are not people we interact with a lot. And some of them, you could handpick out a few. You say Onyango and who live the lives you want to live, but a significant chunk of those people who don't make the first team, for example, they're not that well off, right? But then the Ugandans who play internationally also play in leagues that we don't pay enough attention to, right? So some people who play in Asia, people like, for example, who play in Canada. This is like where someone would say it's maybe because kids who lose their track, they don't have enough. They don't have the role models in their face, right? To make the right decision.
Well, first of all, the parents have to invest in their kids. It's not all about money. You have to support your kid. If you don't support your kid, it's gonna lose focus. With my parents, they never supported me when I was young. Yeah, well, they gave me boots, they gave me balls, but they were never on my pitch. I'm pretty sure my dad has watched a few games on TV of me, right?
Yeah.
My mom once, but they have been in my life for forever. So with the parents, if you wanna follow up with your kid, where does he play? Who's their coach? How did he get to the pitch? So, simple things like that make the kid, love the game, encourage them. Well, with the kids, what the reason why, I think, this is my own opinion, the reason why the players you talked about, why they lose track is because they are role models. Well, I'm talking about the Kawempe, the Kawempe I know. Yeah. These people in Kawempe, we have the people that played professional way back, that we grew up,
True.
Like if I grow up, I want to be like this. I won't mention names, but
I know what
they have done a very, very great role in spoiling the future generation of the Kawempe football, because they look up to them. these are the people that smoke, these are the people that drink, but kids be like, oh, if he is smoking, if he smoked and he played on the national team, if he smoked, if he drank and he played on the national team, why not? I think it's the right thing to do, and they don't tell them the truth. Well, if you look at them right now, they are nowhere. They are on the streets. They look at you and be like, man, payo rukumi, man. You know, I've not eaten lunch. It's 4 p.m. and he's telling you he hasn't eaten lunch.
I see.
But he's drunk. He's intoxicated. I mean, this is the reason why, kids in Kawempe right now, that's why I'm focused on the kids in Kawempe, because I don't want them to end up like, those players.
Yes, and in terms of like structure, right? Structure fine, but also infrastructure, right? If you look at England, again, I unfortunately, there are not like very many close examples to give, right? If you look at England, for example, if you look at London alone, it has a bunch of major teams, right? But all these teams have academies, right? All these teams go straight to school or like even preschool to identify like talent, right? And that is something we don't have here. Right now, I think what we have is you have to play well at least in secondary school. Yeah, and you have to be like the cream, like the real cream among the top 100 Ugandans who play football to be noticed as a good footballer, right? What do you think, where do you think people can invest? I see, for example, what you're doing, right? But where else do you think people can invest to make sure discovering talent is?
Well, it's through, there are very many alternatives for a kid to be, to showcase their talent. There's schools from right from primary, secondary. There's university leagues. There's a Masaza Cup. There are regional leagues, But I mean, with football right now, we use football to get to our destination. Some people will end up. Some people don't pay fees. I don't remember paying fees. I remember my parents paying fees from primary 7. That's the last time they paid fees for me. From primary 7, from S1 to A level, they never paid any single fees. So I use soccer, I use football to
as a bursary.
yes, for bursaries, and well, there are very very many soccer players in Uganda. I don't know there. I don't know. Not everyone is gonna make it to the the national team or the Uganda any of the Ugandan Premier League teams, But when you're young, when you try your best, just do your best. If football does not take you pro, at least use football to educate you. Use football to make friends. Uganda kati connections. Who do you know?
True.
So there are people that know me. They'll be like, okay, if I need something, I'll just call Zake. He will hook me up. So through football we make friends that will change our lives. Through football you get your education. Through football you get jobs. It cannot be only football and professional. If you don't make it to pro, and then that's the end of No. If you don't make it, there's other chances. Well, just you play football and then you make friends. A friend you made it through football becomes a brother. Your brother. You just keep that bro code and life changes.
Things will work out eventually. I see. So the other thing also is the exposure, right? So as I mentioned, right now, even in Uganda, most of the football that people watch is foreign football, right? Mostly from England and Europe.
Yeah, the European tournaments.
And right now, so I've seen, for example, I think FUFA is trying to invest into a TV. I know Star Times, I think, is it Star Times was one of those has tried to invest in broadcasting the local leagues and all that. And this is also quite expensive, like putting sports on TV is not a very easy thing. Yeah, and I'm wondering, what are those other ways? For example, we can put. I'll give you an example of what we're thinking. When Eddie talked to me about like what you guys are doing with the tournament and whatnot, I'm like, this is a cool guy. I'll have a conversation with him. But my idea was, instead of broadcasting a game, for example, a game is a complete game. I know the games in the tournament don't run on the standard time.
No.
Yeah. But a standard game would be 90 minutes at least, right? Instead of like broadcasting a game for an hour, what my thoughts were is going to get clips where we get like short sort of highlight clips for like TikTok, where people are actually watching stuff from. Yeah. Instead of going to YouTube and watching Dino, best of Dino, seeing the tricks Dino did for his career, you can actually go and say, best of Zake, and we just see you in our pitch in Kamocha, in our Kafufu. There's no crowd, Now Kafufu playing like, like doing tricks. Even if it's like, those things are, even if you do like, say in the whole tournament, you do like 6 outstanding tricks. Yeah, that's just enough content to keep people entertained. And if it's Ugandans watching Ugandans, it's sort of also relatable. The kid can say, I can actually do it better than this guy, right?
I know this place. Yeah.
So that's one of the things we're actually considering doing before. So after the podcast, that's the thing I wanted to talk with you about, to be like, how do we get to the place where we co-invest and try to get that content, sports content, onto the internet, but in a different way than it currently is done. Because I'll be honest, we won't be able to afford broadcasting. But also I don't think broadcasting right now, the competition we have, for example, from Europe, would be the smartest way to go. Yeah, but building content separately for me seemed like a different way to like reach out to people who would otherwise not have an opportunity to like enjoy local talent. Yeah, and I don't know if you have like ideas also around how we get people can come to the pitch. People in Kawempe obviously can know that this is like a social thing, and that's what games are. But also, how do we get the talent, the football, away from Kawempe, to people's phones, to people's TVs, to people's computers and things like that.
So just you're talking about Kawempe in particular, or the
yeah, like all tournaments. So this would be like, I know like the tournament you're running, for example, is just one of many other tournaments. Usually, even politicians do things like this, where he says, I'm going to put a Christmas tournament, or, I'm going to put like a tournament about this and this. And usually those are like, a tournament could have, I don't have a good idea of how many matches can be there, but maybe 30 matches, right?
Yeah.
And of those 30 matches, there are about 3 hours of pure genius, where random guys from like random villages, a guy comes and and he pulls a trick on the other guy that if you've not been at the pitch, you'll never see it anywhere. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. There is like some room to put this out on the internet. This is Ugandan football. It's not like matches. People never know what the scores of the match was, but they see those segments of like people showcasing like supreme talent.
Well, it goes down to the coverage. So now people have phones, but
true.
They don't use it to its potential, right? So they have phones that can record, but they get carried away because the game is going on, and they have no time to look at their phones.
Yeah.
Well, the only way to bring soccer from Kawempe Kafufu to people's phones, to people's TV, it's through coverage. You just have to get somebody just on the camera, following all all those little details. That's the only way we can,
I see. Yeah, and so again, that's really one of the ways we want to approach this. So the one thing also that I wanted to talk to you about was, I don't know how much you're interested in talk about how Uganda itself, affects football, right? Like being just in the country. What I do, for me, I'm like an engineer, right? But just like football, the best Ugandan engineers end up working in other countries, right? It's the same thing with football.
Yeah.
If you become very good at football, you end up in Canada, right? Yeah, if you end up, yeah, and well, in academia it's called brain drain, right? But I think overall it's like talent drain, right? Where the country is just terrible that it cannot retain local good talent, right? And I'm wondering, what your thoughts are on that.
Well, that's one thing that baffles me a lot, right? You look at people that were very good, were very talented, more than you. They're on the streets. They are not playing soccer anymore. So this goes back to guidance, career guidance. Somebody here in the Ugandan Premier League, he might get a deal, a contract, and he signs, let me say, 100 mil. And because he's not well guided, that mil will be gone in
Drugs and women.
in 2-4 months. And if somebody who has had 100 mil in his pockets, looking into his bank account and he has zero balance, tell me he's not gonna, that's it for him. It's like I lost this money. I don't know if I'll ever. He will be on pressure to wanting to make this money again, and through the pressure, because the pressure keeps on piling, and the next thing you see him is not focused at all. There's no focus anymore. He's all he cares about is money, and in football, money only comes when you perform. If you don't perform, you don't get money.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
So, it's all about career guidance.
I see.
If you if they guided you very well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And how for you, in your case, who was this person who helped you streamline your career?
There's a lot of people down the road that help me. One of them should be is Coach Sula, or you know him in Kawempe. Yeah, this guy just right from the Kayofa I talked about that brought me to sin. This guy came to my house, talked to my parents. Hey, I had you guys. I heard you have a son who plays soccer. They're like, yeah, we do, but who are you? My parents asked him, who are you?
Yeah.
He introduced himself to my parents. They're like, okay, if my son is coming to you, then we're gonna give him to you. We're gonna hand him over. But just so you know, you're responsible for him. Whatever happens to him, you take full responsibility.
Yeah.
So that's one thing my parents did. They handed over. They gave somebody responsibility who took care of it. Who took care of me very well. So that's one guy that shaped me right from the grassroots age. And there's another guy.
At around what age is this?
That's around. I was in primary 4.
You were still before?
Yeah, I was in primary 4. That's when I started playing the Kayofa tournament.
I see.
So then I grew up. We played soccer here. Then we went. There's this guy, a politician. His name is Nsambu, Honorable Alintuma Nsambu. So he's basically my godfather in football. He helped me a lot. He took me to Canada.
Okay.
So he took me to Canada. He told me, son, look, I brought you here. I know you're good in football, but you gotta be focused. In these countries, they have their local people. They have boys like you that play exactly like you. But how are you gonna beat them? If they are training once, you gotta train thrice, because they are people that can do what you're doing. But if you go extra, if you do something extra, you beat them. So this guy followed me on my trainings. He used to take me, put me in his car, drive me to training sessions, watch me train. we come back in the car talking trash. Oh, today you did no sense. I don't know. Well, you know.
Yeah.
But he talked trash to me just because he wanted me to improve. He knew I could do better. That's why he used to sit there, watch me train, watch me do things. He would sit me down, talk to me. Ask me, talk to. Hey son, talk to me. What's up? What's bothering? What you need? Well, you know, sit me down, talk to me, and well, it worked out. After a few months doing that, I had my first professional contract.
I see. Yeah, this seems like you had an opportunity, maybe I would say, of getting parental figures who knew what they were doing. So most of, for example, when I have a few friends who are not Ugandan, and when they try to explain to me their relationship with their parents, right? You see how it has helped them grow in whatever they're doing. You know, it may not be football necessarily, right? But most of my friends in Uganda, for example, they don't have a relationship with their parents, right? Like when I was growing up, when Zake comes back, if I was watching TV, I just switch off and
run. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah,
feeling.
and it's not just me, right? It's many Ugandans.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly. And
You just hear his car. You don't even go open the gate. You just run to your bedroom.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing that the value that most people get from having that relationship with their parents is they get that guidance that comes from a place of I'm just helping you. I don't want anything from you, right?
Yeah, love.
Yeah, exactly. From love. Yeah, I think love is the right word. Yeah, because usually if you get, say, like if you have talent and you get someone who's trying to guide you, most times they're also looking out for themselves. They're like, hey, you know, if I get a deal for this kid, I score 30%. Something like that. Yeah. But you know, if you have like that kind of parental love thing to help guide you, that.
Well, the parents here, that's the thing. They're so much into money and being well off, and they forget that these kids need them. Me, my father used to be just money hungry, just everything money, and he lost some of my siblings. They are no friends. They can't sit down and have a civil conversation. They can have conversations, but exchanging words. Oh, you didn't do you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. But as a parent, you just have to inject a little time with your kid. Just kill one day. Kill one day. Have your kid sit down with your kid. Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. See what they have issues. They have issues that they need to speak to somebody. But if you put that distance between you and your kid, that distance is not gonna be recovered. You cannot recover that distance. You might think it's just a little period of time, but 0 seconds adds up to 1 minute, and there's no way you're coming back. If your kid is gone, he's gone. You're just leaving your kid to the society and the society, when the society is disciplining, it disciplines with no love. It hits you. True. Yeah. So
baptism by fire.
Exactly, that's the word.
So okay, let's talk a little bit again about the tournament, right? What does the winner get for this specific one?
The winner gets a very big bull. Should be a cow. Yeah. That's the champion. The champion gets a bull. He gets gold medals. He gets a cup that they keep for a couple months, and then they bring it back because this tournament is gonna be running. God willing, for forever. So the winner is gonna get those, and we have a best player, for both seniors and the junior, the kids. So there's a best player, there's a best goalkeeper, there's top scorer, there's a best coach, best disciplinary team, the best disciplined team. That's the fair play team. Same applies to the youth. Well, we're trying to have that extraordinary, exceptional kid we want to put in school.
Oh, okay.
And we monitor this kid, because you never know, that kid might be the Zake for tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So we have that we have that idea of having that kid taken to uh his uh his school of whatever school he wants, you know. So we have that in mind. If his parent allows us to do so, well, we have that in mind. We're gonna have to try to support him, because we've seen something in him. We've seen that he can be, the future Onyango, the future Mias of or maybe the future Zake, who knows?
True.
That's basically the
I see.
the idea of the.
And if I wanted my team to join the next tournament, what are the processes of getting?
There's nothing, no process, no nothing. You just have to
and
register.
I don't have to be from Kawempe.
No, you don't have to. We had teams from Uganda. We had teams from Chireka. We had. This is a world countrywide tournament. The only issue that is it stands between against this tournament is the curfew, because people have to come and play the game and then go back to so they cannot beat the curfew time. That's the
hopefully
only
that
challenge.
won't be there next year, by the way.
Hopefully that's the only challenge we're facing as
and registration. What
well,
does that entail?
for the because if things are just given out for free,
I understand.
it wouldn't make too much sense. They will abuse the tournament. But for starters, they paid 50K. Yes, just to run but most things have been catered for by me. The 50K is to help here and there, run things. They don't have to run to me when they need things. So the registration was just 50K.
I see. Okay, so there is a registration for 50K. Also, like team requirements. Do I have to have is it 22, 23 people on my team to register?
Well, if you come into this tournament of say 11v11, we expect you to have a maximum of 15, 17 players, right?
Oh, okay.
So you can dress as many players as you can, because now the rules changed. You can bring 5 players. 5 substitutes. So you can have as many players as you can on the bench.
I see.
Well, we don't want you to come and you play 7 and you get whooped 10-0.
Are there scenarios where someone transfers from one team to another mid-tournament?
No, it's not allowed. you can only do that before the kickoff.
I see.
If you're in the team picture, even if you're not on the if you've not played any single game, but you're in the team picture, for say my team is Ottawa, where I come from, or Canada, right? So I decided to name my team after the city. So for say I appeared in their team photo, right? Dressed, but I did not appear on the pitch.
You still cannot be sold.
No, you cannot.
I see. Okay.
And on in the preliminaries, you can bring as many players as you can, but when we hit the quarterfinals, you cannot add any player.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Oh, okay. Actually, I didn't know that. Oh, I see. What is the other? What are the other? I've heard. What's the other rule I had? So I know the matches play for 35 minutes.
35, 40. Sometimes, depends on what time the teams have arrived.
Oh, I see.
So we remember this is a religious village where you cannot play the game before they pray. And you cannot play the game. You cannot be playing the game while they are playing, right? So you either you gotta balance. There's you either start immediately after they stop praying. You start the game, and when you hear the Muslim calling for prayers, automatically the game has to end.
I see. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are actually the only rules. So if anyone is interested in like joining the tournament
Yeah,
next year,
next year.
is there a limit to the number of teams that?
Well, because there were very many teams that wanted to join this year, but because it was the first tournament, we wanted a few teams that we could, control. We could be in control, because if you remember, it's just our first edition.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have a few. This year we've had 16 teams. So far there are 8 teams left. So next year we don't know. We might have, because people are impressed with the organization. They are impressed with the discipline in the game. They showcased on the pitch. Well, I'm hoping so many teams will show up next year.
And also, like, I know there is in quarterfinals, for example, they play 2 matches. Right?
Yeah, they play first leg and second leg.
Yeah. Normally that would mean one team is one team is home, but it's the same pitch.
Yeah.
Are you considering allowing teams to play from other pitches in the next tournament?
Well, we're looking at that because in Kawempe, those pitches are very, very busy, you know?
Yeah.
Every time we have to talk to, different, people that take care of those pitches. We don't inconvenience them. We don't want to inconvenience anyone, because they have usage for their pitches, and we want to bring, as much as we're bringing love and friendship back to the community, but still we don't want to inconvenience people.
True. Okay, that makes sense. One of the other things, though, that most people say is a negative thing about sports is sports betting, right? So when I was at university, I think in my second year, a friend of mine bet. I forget what match it was, but it was one of those mid league matches. He got some stats from the internet, and he went and bet half of his tuition on the team. Now, the first half, the team was losing badly, but the match was cancelled, I think, due to bad weather.
So what happened?
So yeah,
he lost everything?
No, he saved his money. He was lucky.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but so sports betting, again, I think the country has tried a lot to emphasize that this should be an adult thing. They've raised the limit to allow one to bet. So in Uganda right now, although you can drink and vote at 18, you can only bet on sports at 25, right? So they've tried all that, but still, again, most of the culprits, or most of the people participating in sports betting are the youth. And these are, people below 18, even 15 to between 15 and 25. These are the people who participate a lot, according to most of the statistics, right? I'm wondering, if you have like ideas on how to make, well, first of all, sports betting less risky and sort of, less abusable. But also, if you think there are alternatives to sports betting that would still make sports as engaging, because one of the other advantages of sports betting is you have your skin in the game. You may not be I may not be a good player as Zake, but if I bet my money on Zake, I also have something really to lose if Zake doesn't play as well. Yeah.
It's the law. If there's a law in the country, you gotta enforce it.
I see.
It's just the law, because the law does not. If it's a law, it has to be applied to anyone. It doesn't have to favor a few and leave somebody just to go like that. If, for say, I'm a guy, I'm a person who works at the betting thing, and you show up, well, I'm talking about where I come from.
Exactly.
You cannot show up at a liquor store when you're not 21. Even if you look 21, you still have to show your ID, your government issued ID. It should be the same thing here, because if you cannot bet, if you're not allowed to bet until you're 25, I don't see the reason why you show up to a betting let me say house or whatever without an ID and they let you in.
I see. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think one way would be to force, I don't know how, because for the guy, the entrepreneur himself has a betting house. Yeah, any money he can collect is good money for him.
Any money he can, but he's killing the society. Yeah, if the government does not enforce that law, then the kid's gonna go down the road just like that.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, so that's because the thing about betting though is it's it's bad as gambling. Obviously, gambling is bad, but it's not all
I'm
bad.
lucky I'm Muslim, I don't gamble.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay, yeah, I see. So there's also maybe that religious thing that helps some people. But the thing about sports is you also get an opportunity to. It's not like wasteful gambling. Usually, if you want to invest significantly, say in the local league, you have to invest a lot of time understanding the league. You have to know who is sick. You have to know who's on form. Yeah, that's all useful. Usually, that's useful information. If you're interested in football, for example,
I mean, that's a full-time job, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's value in that. So, I, I'm like against abusing betting, but I wouldn't be one of the people who'd say. I've heard people who say, let's abolish it once and for all, so people can't bet. I wouldn't be one of those people because I've talked to people who are not interested in anything. Like when you go to secondary school and you probably ask them, what do you guys want to be? They'll be like, whatever parents want, for example, right? They don't have like any special talent. They don't have any special interest until sports betting came, where there is money to be made. And so they learned football. Like they didn't learn like playing football, but they learned like football.
The knowledge
the knowledge. You could have a conversation with them, say about Cristiano Ronaldo,
and they know everything. They know even the junior leagues. You said you don't know the Canadian soccer, but those people that bet,
exactly,
they know.
True. Yeah, they know that. They know that exactly. Yeah.
That's why I said it's a full-time job because they sit down and analyze. They go to internet, search.
Yeah.
All that time wasted on internet. I'm not saying internet is a waste. No, I'm not. But just sitting down there, just watching things, I mean, you just get something to do. Go out there. You're still healthy. You're still energetic. Just go out there and find something to do, and after you can come back and bet.
I see. There's also another controversy around betting, which is match fixing.
Yeah.
Where now people like you become very rich by.
No, I can't do that.
Anyway, so I've read. I don't know. There's a big player, I think in NBA, where it's not the conventional match fixing. I think people bet on whether he will tear his shirt. Things that don't affect the game in any way, right? Yeah. So things that are also very hard to investigate. I think there was a significant amount of money that was bet on that. And then one side of those people who bet, say maybe the guys who bet that tear your shirt, reached out to him and like, yeah, you got put $1 million on you tearing your shirt. So
do it at
figure
the
it out.
game,
Figure. Yeah. How much is that in say the Canadian League? I know it's a lot here in Uganda.
Well, the Canadian League just started. Before we used to play in America. It was just combined with Canada and America because the Canadians didn't have their actual league. But about 2 years ago, they set up their own. So it has been running for 2 years now. I haven't had any single scenario yet. Maybe the media has not pointed it out, but I don't think it's very common in the Canadian Premier League.
I see. And betting itself in Canada, how is that?
It's online. People just sit on their laptops and see a couple on their laptop.
I see. Oh wow. Okay. Well, it's I think in Uganda it's also getting more and more online. They're trying to. It's also cheaper for the betting houses to keep it online. So they're trying to get there, but we'll see. Mr. Zake, I think this sort of covers the conversations mostly that I wanted to have with you. I wanted to know more about the league and sort of what your vision is, and I think have a clear picture of that. I wanted to know about you as well as a person. Maybe I Dr. Even ask you a little bit more about like, if you were to narrate your story from start to end, where would you start?
I was waiting for that part.
Yeah, tell me.
I was about to ask myself.
Tell me.
That's a long story, man. Well, how all these things started, I was home. I told you when my coach Coach Sula came to my house, knocked, came in, sat down, spoke to my parents, asked them, "Oh, we heard your son play soccer. Can you please, you know?" My parents said, "Yes, you can, as so long as it's in your hands."
Yeah, as long as you're responsible for
Yes, do you agree to take for responsible? He said yes. So I was in this guy's hands for let me say almost my youth age. So we we used to play. He took me places. He brought me. We played from Kawempe. We qualified. We went to Old Kampala. There was a tournament. City Tires. We played City Tires. We went to Mbarara with him. We played Mbarara. We won the tournament. We came back. We came back with victory. We were very happy. That was my first victory as a kid. Because forget about the youth in Kawempe, the Kayofa, but that was national wide. Because City Tires used to accommodate all the regions, the Ugandan regions, the north, east, whatever, south, central. So yeah, that was the time Zake was introduced to Uganda football community, football scene. That's how I came to be known. So coaches used to come to me. "Oh, can you come play for my academy?" Because Kawempe had a academy, but the academy used only to run during the holidays. During school time, there was
everyone goes back to school.
Soccer was dead in Kawempe. But then these coaches, I remember one coach called Coach Tom in Nansana. He saw me. He's like, "Oh, I have an academy that I would like you to come and join." Yes, I joined his academy. We started playing together. He's a good guy. Currently, he's running an academy in Nansana. Then so that used to be in the holidays. So school time, you go back to school. You do just school football. NPP and stuff like that. And so from school, Coach Sula, that same guy that there was a program running. The scouts came. The scouts came. He was the country coordinator by that time. The program was called Aspire Football Dreams. It covered all the countries in Africa. So they would come to countries like Uganda. They would come here, select the best players.
Or not teams, like they'll take.
No. Just
I see.
single players. So you come from Kawempe. Let me say 1,000 players from Kawempe. You showcase your talent. They select a few. Let's say of 1,000 players, they select 5-10 players in Kawempe. So from Kawempe, you come, you go to another stage. It used to be stages, stage by stage. So from Kawempe, you come to let's say Old Kampala. You find another group of players, excellent players. You play games there. Then you again get selected, and then you go to another stage. There used to be 3 stages in your country. So that was Uganda is my country. So we used to play 3 stages. So these are the whites. So the African coaches just used to select teams, put you on the pitch, and stand outside. Then the white coaches took over the session. They took over the refereeing and all stuff. So you train. After training there, then they select you. That's how I was selected, me and my buddies. So they selected me, told me, "Hey, you've gone through. Now what we need from you is we need you in 2 weeks. We need you in Kenya for the final 50, because soccer-wise, East Africa is not
Yeah,
so
true,
big.
true, true, true,
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
they don't know that there's soccer in East Africa.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
what those white people did, they just combined East Africa as one country. So instead of going to Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania to pick the best players, they had to combine all those five countries to become one country.
Yeah.
That so from all those five countries, they had to select among all the five countries, they selected 50 players, 50 good players. Remember, what happened in Uganda happened in Kenya,
Yeah, yeah. And
Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi.
Yeah.
So they picked their best players. We went to Kenya for our final 50s. So I met players that were very exceptional, very talented, very very talented players. But remember, there's only one thing I know in life is playing football, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, here, I'm fida wano. Bazayo mulambo ewaka. So we played. We had a camp of I think 3 weeks, whereby they had to select out of 50 players. They had to select 3 players to go to another level. Another level is where you meet other players from Nigeria, from Ivory Coast, from Cameroon, from Africa wide. Now it's not all about Kenya,
Was
Uganda.
Egypt also included?
No, Egypt was. Those Arab countries were not included
I see,
at
I
all.
see, I see.
Yeah.
Well, Sub-Saharan Africa mostly.
Yes.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
So the scouts now chose me and my friend called Kawempe. Is in Canada right now. So they chose 3 people. Actually, they chose 4. They chose 2 from Uganda, and other 2 from one from Kenya and one from Tanzania. So we went and found other players, 34 players.
That's from the rest of Africa.
Yes, the rest of Africa. And out of those 34 players, they needed only a group of players that made a team that was about 24. So out of 34, they had to chop 10 players off. So we had to, again, from Nairobi, we came back to Uganda. So we came back to Uganda, waiting to see who was selected. So we got emails saying that, okay, you, this and this, Zake, Sofas, and the other guys from Kenya and Tanzania are through. So they sent us emails and tickets. They funded our trip to go to Qatar for the final, to be...
Now that was the global thing in Qatar?
Yes, that was the global thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
So from Qatar, that's where we met these other players from different countries. They needed only 25 players. 24 players. Out of 34, they needed 24 players. And God willing, me and my friend made the team, and that's how we ended up in Aspire I was in Aspire for 3 years.
What's Aspire?
Aspire is we used to be an academy. Right now it's I think it's normal, but it used to be an academy that came to different parts of the world, select best players, and trying to promote them, bring them to a world soccer scene. So whenever the kid graduated, well, graduating I mean when from when you make when you made 19, 20 years, you would they would try to get you a team in Europe, try to get you a team, just try to change your life.
Make
and
you like a pro
yeah.
player. Yeah.
So for the likes of I don't know if you know Musa Wagi, he is in Barcelona. Yeah. There's this Onyekuru Henry. There's Silas Nyaka in Belgium. These guys are from they are Aspire products. There's so many Aspire products on soccer market right now. So that was the theme for the academy. So after that, we went played. We were there for a month in Qatar. So after a month, we played. Then we came back home. We waited for the confirmation. Oh, okay, so and so has gone through. So we waited for a month, 2 months. Well, and they sent emails saying, "Oh, Azake, Kawempe, yeah, you guys are now Aspire players. You're right into the academy." So we're like, okay, congratulations, we made it. Now that marked the beginning of our journey in towards professional football. So we were in that academy for about 3 years. We came back here. So we used to go for 6 months, come back for holidays, 2 months, go back, do 4 months, then come back here for holidays. We used to have summer break and winter break. So we came back here, we played. I came back here. I played for U20, under 20.
That's on the national team.
Yes, that's a Uganda national team U20. I played I played 2 games. In those 2 games, I scored 2 goals. That was Rwanda and Uganda here at Nambole Stadium. Then after that, I went to Canada. I've been in Canada for the past 5 years, I guess.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and what role does this MP guy? I know you mentioned that MP guy. What role does he play in like getting you?
Well, that guy is the reason why we went to Canada, because he knew my friend. Remember?
Kawempe.
Kawempe.
Yeah.
So me, when we went to Qatar, I had a phone, and my friend didn't have a phone. But when we reached Qatar, we used to share a phone, me and my friend Kawempe. So he got the phone we had by then. Called this guy, the MP guy, Mr. Sambu, Honorable Alintuma Sambu. He called him. Oh, they had a conversation that I didn't know how it went, right? But I saw him talking to him, and I was doing my other things. So he spoke to him. Well, they ended their conversation. He brought the phone to me because I used to keep the phone. It was mine. But we shared the line, the SIM card. So months down the road, this guy calls again. I don't know. I don't remember. He didn't save the number. So he calls again. I pick up. He goes, "Hey, wana Kawempe." I'm like, "Hello, no. This is Zake." But I was speaking in Uganda. "Hey, uno Zake, unani." The guy was so excited to hear somebody speaking Uganda. He thought there was only Kawempe that had gone through, right?
Yeah.
So he calls. He's like, "Hey, you also made it. Who are you? You know?" I introduced myself. I'm like, "Who are you?" Because I didn't know him.
Yeah, he called me.
So I'm so and so. He started telling me telling himself about me. He started introducing. He introduced himself to me. He told me what plans he had for Kawempe. And I'm like, man, this guy, he has some.
That was some good.
Some he has some Jewish, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we became friends. So he used to call him. He checks on him at the same time. So time went by, and Kawempe bought his first phone. So I stayed with the phone. He used to call me. We chat, blah blah, here, there. He brought this deal. There's a team in Canada that wants to sign you. Like, yeah, there's a team. How much are they paying? Hey, son, you're too young. Money is coming. Don't your first priority should be, am I gonna play? Am I gonna sign a contract? Money is gonna come. I'm like, okay, sir, if you're saying so, I'll take your
Yes,
word.
understand, yeah.
So yeah, he. So remember, to leave the academy, you had to finish up your 5 years. If if they did not sack you, you had to complete your 5 years. But for me and Kaweke, we did only 3 because the deal came
Yes,
midway, right? So we were like, okay. He's like, the team wants you guys this summer. Summer signings, you gotta be in this team. Like, what are we gonna do? We still have a contract running with these guys. No. That contract is you cannot. There's no contract. You're a minor. You can't sign a contract. I'm like, so how are we gonna do it? So it's like, okay, I'll do something about it. Katonda Natasa, they called us for national team. In that process, they called us for the U20s.
Yeah.
So like, okay, now this is the chance. Like, okay, so they have invited us for national team. I think this is the right chance we're gonna use to, coming back. Are you sure the deal is on? We don't wanna, mess up things. We don't wanna ruin our future.
Opportunity.
Yeah, our opportunity. So it's like, no, I can't do anything, bad to you guys. I get nothing. After I have my money, I have, so there's nothing I want from you. I just want the best for you guys. I'll be like, okay, sir, say less. So we jumped on the plane. We came to Uganda, trained with the national team. We played for the U20s. After the game, after a few months, I guess, we had to fly to Canada. We flew to Canada, we did tryouts, we came back because we went to Canada on a visiting visa. The team had, invited us to see if we really fit in the team. So we flew to Canada, we trained, we spent 3 months there. We came back to Uganda. Again, we played for the national team because the U20, there were other games going on. We came back here, we played, and we went back. So when we went back, I myself signed pro contract. That was 2017. I went back 2016 towards the end. They couldn't sign me, so I signed in the January 2017. Yeah, that's how I came on scene. Yeah.
All right, now let's continue. So now you're pro. What is life like in Canada?
Well, life in Canada is boring, I should say.
I've heard that. You're not the first person to say that. Yeah,
it's boring, but if you have family, it's good. Because I don't have family. I came.
It's a bit lonely.
Yeah. So, but if you have family, it's you can go around it. Yeah. But the country itself is cold.
Yeah, no, that I know.
It's cold.
Sure. Yeah.
And if when it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah, true.
I mean, there is no in between. Oh,
it's not the Uganda thing.
No. It's either right now people are freezing.
Yeah, true. In Uganda, it rains in the morning
and no jacket.
Yeah, afternoon you're
there. It's you shirtless. In summer, you're shirtless. In winter, you're covered with like 10 layers of clothes.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, and your birthday, Kaweke, do you guys stay in touch? Because I know you're both now in Canada.
Yeah. We live in the same area, but
okay.
we have.
You play for different teams.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So we live in the same area, but we are men right now. Yeah, we are men. Obviously. Everyone is doing his own thing. He has his house. I have my own crib. So we are all living our life. We get in touch sometimes.
Yeah, and why isn't he back for the tournament? Why didn't you invite him back to participate?
Well, like I said, everyone has their own.
It's not his thing. I see.
So maybe I told him, he's like, man, I didn't have plans of coming to Uganda, but
Uganda,
but the bombs and stuff,
Bombs, you guys. Yeah. No, but I get.
He's scared. He's so Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, he's so Canadian. Yeah, it's like, but Uganda bomb. No, I can't. I can't deal with that.
I see. Oh wow. Oh, so yeah. I don't know if like you're comfortable talking about some of this, but what are like the future things you're looking at right now? You know, in terms of like football, where are you planning to go?
Well, like any other kid, your aim is to play for a national team.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
could be Uganda national team, senior team, because I played for the U team. Uh, could be the Canadian.
Oh, are you a citizen already?
Right now, I'm a PR. Yeah,
PR is
permanent resident.
permanent resident.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, or yeah, okay. So you're looking at should be charging those people for some money for
They
taking
should give me
players.
some. Yeah, I know. Big bucks right there, man.
Oh,
They
yeah, I
have
see.
money. They need to give me some. I need to change my life.
Yeah, I see. Oh, wow, that's quite an inspiring story, by the way. That's wow. That's a good opportunity. But also, I think for you, it's mostly the talent. If you manage to make it through that sorting
course.
thing, yeah, it's
Well, it's just talent, God fearing, talent and discipline. There's nothing more. There are very many people that are better than me
but
here
it's the
in
discipline
Uganda.
that they don't have.
Well, it could be talent, could be discipline, could be exposure. They've not, gotten that opportunity that like the one I got. Yeah.
Yeah, is Aspire still doing the same thing?
I know they're not. So they had a plan. I think that's what all the guys think. They had a plan because Qatar is hosting World Cup, if you know, 2022.
Yeah.
I think that was their target. Yes.
Oh wow, that's some luck on your
Yeah.
end,
That was their target.
I see.
Bring all the cream and cream from different parts of the world. See, it's smart. They did their thing to capture the FIFA attention because this was under FIFA. So FIFA saw this and they are like, oh, maybe the Qatar has some some love for the game. Maybe we should just let them host and see what they bring on the table because they injected so much.
I see. Yeah, Zake, thank you for coming. I think this is where we're going to wrap it at, and yeah, this has been quite a good conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is the first we've had around sports, and I'm very excited about it.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.